Hello, Technologycrazy here, and today we're going to be reviewing the 240GB SSDNow V300 from Kingston Technology. So they're kind enough to send me out this sample to review. So today we're going to be doing some benchmarking, some comparison to the SanDisk SSD, which is their biggest competitor, and seeing if this bad boy is really worth it and how fast it truly is. So please stay tuned and enjoy. Okay, so the main reason why people buy SSDs over hard drives is mostly because of the speed. Hard drives run a lot slower, mostly due to the fact that they have moving parts. Solid state drive has no moving parts inside of it. That makes it a lot more durable, a lot more thinner, smaller, and a lot more expensive. Okay, so this is the case, a very simple case. You can see that's advertised to run at 450 megabytes per second read and write. Here's the SSD, very snazzy look. And you also get this little sticker thing that I'm not entirely sure what it is, but yeah, I don't know. It makes it look cool, so you can stick that on there if you want. Okay, so before we do any benchmarking, let's go over the specs and how well this thing will actually work with your setup. So we can see that it actually uses the new SATA 3.0 interface, which is actually running at 6 gigabits per second compared to the older version, which is SATA 2, running at 3 gigabits. So usually your board will support both 6 and 3 if it's a newer one. You want to make sure that it's plugged into the 6 gigabyte version, but we'll actually be benchmarking at both the 6 and the 3 just to see a comparison and see how much of a difference it actually does make. Okay, so let's start off by benchmarking the Kingston Now V300, which is on the left, and the SanDisk Extreme, which is on the right. Now they're both plugged into 6 gigabit per second ports, so they should operate at the same or close to the same speed. The Kingston definitely wins out with writing speed. You can notice that it's about 100 megabytes faster. Read speeds are very similar on both the SSDs. Now this is actually very interesting because SanDisk actually advertises their SSDs as faster, or quite a bit faster actually, than the Kingston by about 100 megabytes, while it actually looks about 100 megabytes slower than the Kingston. Now, to be completely fair, I am running a Hackintosh and I'm not 100% confident with my optimization. I'm sure on other machines you might be able to get faster speeds, but the two SSDs should operate at very similar speeds with this test. Now, looking at prices, they're very similar. Kingston for a 240 gigabyte SSD, you're looking at about $215. For 120 gigabyte SSD, you're looking at about $115, and the 60 is about $80, and that is the exact same for the SanDisk. Okay, so just to give you guys a comparison, this is my 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive, and it's running about 130 megabytes per second write speed. Now the read speeds are obviously quite a bit slower because it is a hard drive, and it is to be expected. Now, to be completely honest, read speeds are, in my opinion, are way more important than the write speeds, because read speeds will really affect the speed of your machine. So the faster your read speeds, the faster you can boot up and open up programs, while the write speed is really only important when you're copying over files or making backups. So depending on what you guys will do, you might want to focus on the read speeds over the write speeds, unless you're doing lots of copying. Okay, so if you don't have the new SATA 3 ports and you only have SATA 2, which only runs at 3 gigabits per second, these are the speeds that you should be expecting. So you can see here we dropped about 50 megabytes per second. So it's not a crazy drop, but if you have a 6 gigabit per second port, you definitely want to plug in your SSDs into there. Okay, so those numbers are great and everything, but what does it actually mean and how much of a difference will it actually make? So that's why we have the Kingston on the left, SanDisk on the middle, and the hard drive on the right. And we're just going to be copying a 7.14 gigabyte file just from one folder to another folder and then timing it. So right off the bat, we can notice that the Kingston is in first place, with the SanDisk in second place, and the hard drive is like way behind. It's going to take like 1 minute and something odd seconds. So here we have the Kingston coming up to its end. And I have sped this up for you guys, so it's not in real time, but you can see the seconds in the bottom. So the Kingston is done. SanDisk took 54 seconds, which is approximately 10 or 9 seconds faster. And then the hard drive's like way behind it at 1 minute and 47 seconds. Okay, so we're going to end this video with one of my very favorite tests. It's called the Open Up All the Programs All at Once test. And here we go. It is pretty fast. Look at all that. Applications, load. Okay, there we go. Look at all the applications. It's pretty crazy. So if you want that speed, go and pick yourself up a Kingston Now V300 SSD or any of their other models. They're all really good. Apparently they're better than SanDisk, so pick one up. You can also, I guess, buy 2 SSDs and then do RAID and get double the speed. So whatever you just saw there, you can get double the speed if you do some RAID. So go and check that out. Anyways, I guess that's all. Please comment, rate, subscribe. I really enjoyed making this video, and I'd appreciate your feedback. Anyways, that's all from Technologycrazy. Goodbye.